Guys, a few of us are here. Dylan's recording. We're going to set this wall. This is a butt wall, an exterior wall. It's just a little 2x4 wall. If it was a real wall on a house, more than likely on an exterior wall like that, most people use 2x6s. We're just using 2x4s because that's what we have available to us. The framing's the same no matter whether you're using a 2x4 or a 2x6. The main reason it would be an improvement to use the 2x6 for two main reasons. It would be more structurally sound. It would have a greater deflection load ability. And secondly, it would be better for the insulation factor. All right, you could stuff more insulation on a 5.5-inch wall cavity versus a 3.5-inch wall cavity. So we talked about insulation. We got all our outside corners ready to go here. These guys this morning have installed all the outside corner blocking like we need, and we're getting ready to stand the wall. We have our 4-inch line snapped here. We got our tools ready, so we're going to go ahead and stand it. All right, so after we stand it, we're going to screw the bottom plate to the floor. After we screw the bottom plate to the floor, we're going to check it for plumb and screw it to our outside corner posts. Okay, so you guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, get your fingers under there. All right. Now, before you pull, just hold tight a second. I'm going to put this out here. So I'm going to unhook this here, and this wall is going to float a little free for a second. And the reason I'm doing that is I don't want my walls pinched in. I won't be able to lift this up. So it's going to be a tight squeeze anyway. And unhook my wall here for a second. So this one's a little free, it won't fall down, but we don't want to lean on it while we have it unhooked like that. Now we can go ahead and lift it up. Go ahead and lift her up now if you can. This one's not too heavy because it doesn't have the sheathing on it. So after we've split the wall, we're going to kick it out here to our line that we snapped before we started framing the wall. But essentially what we're after our line might not be playing the right spot. Essentially what we're after is we want to make this outside bottom plate flush with the other wall. So I'm going to tap it out there. We're lining in the right spot. We're going to be flush with the frame right there. And we're going to screw it or nail it. Normally you would nail it with a nail gun out in the real world. We want to make sure our screw is going through the subfloor and into the framing here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put a screw there. Now tap that out back there, guys, at the bottom until it's flush with the end and screw it all the way along. Let me see here. There you go, Dakota. Now you guys can fasten it. We'll fasten it along here, making sure that it's hitting the floor joist below it. Okay, so we're going to take this apart, so we're not going to put too many screws in it. Normally in the real world, we would fasten this about every 16 inches with 2 sets of 16 penny nails, making sure that at least one of them is going into the framing member. Would be important. Okay, so now that we have the sole plate or the bottom plate attached, we can check it for plumb and fasten it to the other wall here. So we're gonna, when we're doing this, all we have to do, we'll get one of you guys pushing out here. He's gonna push on the wall while I fasten it to the other wall is the plan. But before I fasten it, I want to make sure, I want to double check to make sure that my wall is plumb up and down, okay? Plumb is up and down this way. Level would be this way, all right? When we talk about level this way, we're going to talk about plumb up and down. So we have our 6-foot level. I'm going to put it in here as close as I can and check it for plumb. Make sure it is. And if I build this wall square, this wall will be plumb, and it is, because you guys built it perfectly square. So since this wall, if this wall wasn't square, say it was a parallelogram or it was slightly out of square, that would make our gable end wall here, or our butt wall, out of plumb. But since we made this perfectly square and we took the time to diagonally measure it before we put the exterior sheathing on, it's perfectly square, so this makes this wall perfectly plumb. And it's the little details like this, guys, that make life go easy when you're doing construction. So now that we have it where we want it, we just fasten it, and I normally start at the bottom and work my way up the top, making sure that it's flush. Put a screw there, a nail there. We're using screws because we're going to take ours apart. Screw it there, and at the top. screws, but for the sake of the video, we fasten that side. Then we're gonna come over here and we'll fasten this side. All right, same way, we're gonna check it for plumb. Make sure it's plumb and flush. And again, it's perfectly plumb, just like the other one was. And that's again because we built this wall perfectly square. So you guys can go ahead and fasten. You guys want to fasten the outside here? Fasten from the bottom to the top. All right. So there you have it, guys. As you really, all there is to assembling and raising it. We built the wall on the ground, we stood it up, we fastened it to the other walls. Since we built all these properly, this one's perfectly plumb. The next thing we'll do, we have all our exterior walls framed. After we frame the exterior walls, we'll frame all our interior walls that we want, and then we'll double top plate everything. So that should be a small lesson in how to raise a wall, guys. All right, thanks.